Okay, you ready to play some D&D, guys?
All right.
Ready?
So excited.
Ready.
Yeah.
Good day.
I'm
Really?
ready.
Yeah. Hey, Landon, you're looking a little squished.
Don't change a thing. Please.
I'll leave.
No.
Then how will I look?
Fantastic. Make the whole thing a
Look,
lot.
we have technical issues, but we're gonna roll with it.
So what is it like? It's like Monday morning over there, right?
It is currently 10 a.m. Monday morning. Good
Nice,
thing
way
I
to
don't
start
have
the
an
week.
actual job.
Do you know?
You have a job?
Work?
Depends what you consider YouTube.
I don't know. Well, welcome to First Quest, guys. I'm super excited to do this. For me, as a DM, like my favorite part is bringing new players through the game, through like their first adventures. And I remember, God, Jack, what was it like? It's almost 2 years ago when we first met at PAX East, and we were having dinner. What was it, Del Fresco's?
Yeah. It was about a year and a half ago. So
Yeah, and we were like, oh well, I played D&D, and you were like, oh, I played one game, but I want to play more. And then it kind of just went off from there, and now we got Stone and this lazy bum who
Lazy.
basically said the same thing at, I think, what was it, PAX West? We were talking, and I'm like, okay, we can do this. So I recruited Holly to come in and be the other player to help you guys through this fantastic
I mean,
adventure.
No
the way
pressure
that I
there.
play help might not be the thing that you're looking for.
Yeah.
My characters are all very flawed, but in the best.
We're gonna give you the worst first D&D experience you ever had. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm
guys.
sorry in advance. Thankfully, I'm not playing my usual character, so that would just be a disaster. This one I feel like is going to be a lot more beginner friendly.
I'll die within 5 seconds, so I'm not too worried.
Yeah, oddly
That's fine.
enough,
Fancy boy will protect you.
I'll try, but I'll die. I'll always find a way to die.
I'm gonna do my best to help you die.
yeah, I mean, really,
As always.
we just
I
set this
will
whole game up so we could
bless
kill
everyone.
you in like.
Yeah, I
End this
imagine.
in 10 minutes.
That's where the story's going. How many different ways can we kill Frank?
Frank. So how about we introduce ourselves and what character you're going to be playing?
Oh, our real selves or our character selves?
A little bit of both.
Who wants to start? Me?
You volunteered.
Yeah, you
Yep.
already did it.
I heard
am
me.
Mudded or laser beam, depending how you know me. I'm playing Frank. I'm a gnome who identifies as a giant, so he hates being a gnome. He has a pig named Bob that he rides places. That's me. That's my whole story.
I love it.
Amazing. I guess I'll go next.
Why
Hey,
did I think
everyone.
his name was Dan?
I'm Commander Holly. I play a lot of D&D online and in public. For some reason, they allow me to do this. I am playing an Aarakocra, which is pretty much a bird person with wings. They can fly, not to be confused with the Kenku, who are crows that don't have wings. So the Aarakocra actually like bird people. And his name is Fancy Boy, and he's the fanciest boy, just so you all know.
Terrifying. Thank you.
Nice. Sure, I'll go next.
Who are
Hi, I'm Jack. I work at a little company called Rooster Teeth.
you? No, you don't. Stop lying.
You can follow me on the Twitters at Jack_P. And I am playing Blitz, who is a gnome rogue. And so, yeah, he's a very, very lovely fellow who's part thief, part happy, part a-hole.
Sounds like a stretch.
Right?
He's much shorter than I am and skinnier.
Awesome.
Small people.
my- What's that?
There's all these small people in the party. Fancy Boy is just going to tower over them.
Also, I have a ring around my neck that I'm carrying to Mount Doom.
Oh, man.
Sounds familiar. Very familiar.
Yeah, it's like
That's
somebody
my
wrote that
flaw.
or something. Yeah.
How many fingers do you have? My name is Stone. My handle's Great Wall of Chin, and that's my last name. I am playing Brother Cornelius, a human cleric of Timora. who may or may not heal you depending on a nominal fee.
Wait. So you're gonna charge your friends to heal them?
It's not charging; it's a donation
Oh, it's a tax thing
to
for
the
you.
goddess. No,
I have no
it's
money, but I can sell you a pig.
donation, not a tax thing.
You want a pig?
Perhaps parts of it. This could be arranged.
Ah, if we get real hungry. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right. Well, so guys, this is gonna for Lannon and Stone. Welcome to your first D&D game. This is awesome, and
I'm very excited.
you're gonna find as you start to play this game a lot more and more, as we hope you do, that a lot of DMs have different styles of playing. Some are very rules heavy. Some are not. Jack knows from playing with me that I'm a little lighter on the rules. If you want to create something, if you have a great idea, just go for it. And I'm either going to say yes, no, or I'm going to give you some kind of check or difficulty check that you have to make to see it happen. And if it's going to be bending the rules, breaking the rules, go for it. We'll see what happens, and I'll let you know. All right.
Sweet as.
Cool.
I attack Lannon.
Done. Okay, that's a difficulty check of 1. Roll strength. Just kill him right there. Boom.
12 plus 1.
Everyone just rolls the same thing. Everyone gangs up on me.
I mean, really, you're gonna die.
I mean, I'm a fighter, bro. I'm a gnome fighter. So I got you. I'll fight back.
Really though?
But will the pig?
That's the question.
What could his class be? Maybe he's a cleric or something.
Hey, I feel like there was a passive-aggressive insult in there.
It totally is. So, you guys ready to hop in?
I'm ready.
Sure.
I love it.
Ready. Fancy boy.
Fancy boy! Fancy boy! So, everyone right now, you are feeling a dream state. You don't see anything at first. Everything's completely black. Much like Landon's expressions, it's wonderment and weird eye rolling. But
Sorry, I'm getting into the role.
yeah, I love it. I love how you work this. But you start to see yourself falling. But you realize right away that it's just a dream. But then, Fancy Boy, you get the sensation that is very, very familiar to you of wind rushing through the feathers that surround you.
Fancy boy can fly.
Yep. Blitz, on your little gnomish toes, you have wind rushing through them. Even though you can't see anything else, your toesies have gusts of wind brushing down along the hair of your feet. Frank, you feel Bob kind of nudging you from underneath. His nose is kind of hitting your butt.
As he often does.
Yeah. And Brother Cornelius, you feel your chest is being pushed by flowing air that's getting quicker and quicker and rapidly pushing against your chest.
Like an angioplasty.
Very, very similar. Then, at all of a sudden, your eyes spread wide, and you can see now you're falling straight down to the ground. You are almost 400 feet above the ground, and to your left, coming down, you see a giant black obsidian tower. Stone, as you open your eyes, you see a small gnome riding a pig.
Am I still dreaming?
No, this is real. Now, Frank, what does he see? What does Frank look like?
Oh, he's bald. He cuts his face because I assume that's what giants do. He likes to have battle scars. He's got scars all over his face.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he's riding the pig backwards because the pig was nudging his butt. So I imagine that he's also overweight. He's an overweight gnome.
So,
Overweight but tank, but like jacked overweight.
so he's been lifting at the gym.
Yeah, but like also overeats.
Would you say he looks like a soft landing?
Ooh. Well, maybe this is where the pig story ends. Maybe we just land on the pig.
That's
You
it.
joke. You
This is
joke.
Bob's story.
This
the
has
true
happened
hero
a
of
lot
the tale.
times. This is a common occurrence.
Stone, so you see this gnome that is pretty jacked, but also a little flabby around the mid waist, riding a pig backwards as both of you are falling.
So we're both falling.
Yep.
Okay.
Blitz, you see a human that is holding a cup with, and on that cup you can see a circle on it, or a coin, and you see him falling almost upside down, trying to catch the air with his cup. Stone, what does Brother Cornelius look like?
He is a small, wiry man of pale complexion. Some might even say a bit shady looking. Brownish hair. Fairly normal. No scars on his face. Dressed in a large brown monk robes.
And Frank, on your position on Bob, you can see his tail is now curled up into a little in a little curly Q, but you see this bird humanoid just falling kind of right next to you with a smile on his face. And Fancy Boy.
That's right.
What does Fancy Boy look like?
Oh, Fancy Boy is a tall, handsome Aarakocra, so a bird person, and they have talon-like hands, and they also have wings, so they can actually fly at level 1, which is pretty ridiculous. But that aside,
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has red and gold feathers, almost like a phoenix. And he's wearing a mage robe, kind of a very plain mage robe, but he's tried to really embellish it. So like he's embroidered like badly, like really nice designs all over it. Like he took a lot of time on this, but did a terrible job. And he has a staff, a quarter staff that's wooden, but it kind of twists up into the shape of a feather. So he stands up very tall and straight. Like he stands like royalty, but he clearly is not. Clearly is not.
I love it. Now, Landon, you see this red and gold Aarakocra falling next to you, but Fancy Boy, right above you, you see another gnome that is kind of staring down at you, looking up. Blitz, what does Fancy Boy see?
So Blitz is he's a gnome, so he's pretty short, about 3'2". He's he's kind of fair skinned because he's actually a thief, so he leaves his house at night. He operates in the darkness a lot of the times, and he's pretty well dressed actually. But the odd thing is, all of his nice outfit is kind of patched together from different. It's not like one outfit. It's nice things that he's collected over time. So it's a nice jacket, but the jacket doesn't match the nice shirt, which doesn't match the nice pants, which doesn't match the nice shoes, as well as like a pack and a bunch of stuff with him. He has kind of like a light brownish hair, kind of a light, very very pale, but like a little hint of brown skin, and his eyes, one is green and one is blue, and they're both shockingly bright, and very trusting eyes. But yeah, so he's a little sneaky little devil.
So Fancy Boy, you see this little sneaky two-colored eye gnome almost about to fall on top of you as the rest of and now you can all see each other and you're all falling together, and you are only maybe 20 feet away now. On your left is this giant obsidian tower, and as you start to fall down, Lannon, want to roll me a perception check? Or Frank, excuse me.
How do I do that again?
Exactly. This is how we play D&D. So you roll a D20.
Yeah.
And then add your wisdom modifier.
So that's 13, and then I have a 0. That's just, is that like the wisdom skill level or just the modifier at the bottom?
It's just the modifier on the bottom. That's gonna give you your perception
13.
check. So as you're falling down, Frank, you're gripping Bob's little tail, but you look over, and on the peak of this tower, you see a woman dressed in velvet robes, engaged in combat with a giant skeleton that you could only think is a storm giant, or what used to be a storm giant. And what you notice about her is she has long flowing black hair, but there's one strand of blonde that goes down the right side of her head.
You notice this while falling through the sky.
And then you all fall. So
Story's over.
Story's over. So
Everyone's dead.
Now you are all falling down. You're about 200 feet from the ground at this point. You're 3/4 of the way down this tower, which is straight obsidian. You see no entrances in the tower, no windows, no nothing.
Can we see anything around it? Like, what does the landscape look like? Is it like arid or?
Around it, it is almost as if the forest is dying.
Okay. Interesting.
You see rotting trees. You see, but the trees have a little bit of green left in them. On the ground, you can see, as you're starting to crash towards the ground, you can see.
Well, Fancy Boy is floating.
Yes, he's flying.
Are there any mattresses on the ground?
No.
Just any?
There's skeletons there cheering up at this battle that is going on. And these skeletons are directly below you.
Are there any pools of water or whatnot?
Yeah, there'll be some water. You can see it's not a moat, but around the tower, you can see how the grass has become wet and moist, as if it's almost turning into a bog.
Interesting. I want to try and help these little gnomes.
Okay.
I'm trying to grab them if I can. I'll try and fly over to them and just.
You're gonna get the gnomes.
Yeah, yeah. I want to just like grab their heads with my claws and be like, "I'm going to save you."
Okay. So roll me a dex check.
Cool. I don't know why I'm so dexterous, but 15.
Well, Eric Kokoro, I think, get a +2 to
They
dex,
do.
right?
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I don't usually do this. Oh yeah, it's Eric.
So you got a 15. Okay, so Fancy Boy, Blitz, and Frank, you see Fancy Boy start to glide over to you, and as Fancy Boy does this, one talon claws on the top of Blitz's head and clamps in.
Oh.
Frank, you have a talon on your back that is pulling your shirt back just a little bit, but is struggling to grip onto your gnomish features. Your muscles are so jacked that you can't. There's no fat around to claw into. So
Please don't be alarmed.
she seemed to say.
Can I try and grab on or something? Like,
Sure.
or am I doomed?
Absolutely. Make me a strength check. So this is going to be the same as perception. You're gonna roll the d20 and add your wisdom modifier, or your strength modifier. Excuse me.
Okay, I got a 6.
Okay, so you reach up to grab the bottom, or the almost the ankle of this talon, and you just can't seem to get a grip. Your hand just keeps slipping off as you're trying to maintain your grip on Bob below you.
I'm so sorry. I moisturized my talons this morning.
And,
So I have a choice to.
And at that point, Bob or Frank, you slip and you start to fall even further as you hold on to Bob. and his weight is dragging you down. Brother Cornelius, you see Bob and Frank, this strange pair of adventurers that you would have never thought you would run into in your entire life. You see them kind of falling quicker and moving past you. They're about 3 feet away from you now, but they've started to go move below you.
Can I target myself, anticipating where the pig will land, and make that my landing zone?
Absolutely.
That's
So you want to aim. You essentially want to move yourself on top of this pig, is what you're getting at, to really squash it.
Yes, and if there's, maybe I could add more weight to the pig to make it fall. How does physics work?
Anyway, this is D&D. It works any way you want.
I'm looking for someplace soft at this point.
Well, so you could, if you want, you can roll me an acrobatics check, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Is that
It's going to be on your skills list, so it's going to be your dex bonus added to a d20.
Oh yeah, that's not a good roll. What does a 3 buy me?
So
Dead
you try to position yourself using the wind as your current. You slide over. You try to get above Frank and this pig. But as you do so, the wind rushes behind your back and you slam directly into Frank, and such that your hands and arms are wrapped around his chest and your legs are now sticking out behind him as well. Blitz, as Fancy Boy is grabbing onto your head now, you see below you these two other adventurers, we'll call them, crashing into each other as they're flying down. You guys, Fancy Boy is just slowly guiding you down, so you feel not as threatened as you were maybe 6 seconds ago.
Yeah, he's trying to slow the fall, so when he just lands, he can just be like, and just throw him on the ground.
All right. So, but Fancy Boy's claws aren't enough to hurt my head.
No,
they shouldn't be.
You don't feel anything digging in. Fancy Boy has enough control of his own talons that he knows the right amount of pressure to apply.
Nice. You think we should help them over there too?
You're talking to Fancy Boy, looking up?
I'm looking up, talking to Fancy Boy.
Okay. Yeah, he'll say, well, we'll try. And he's like, wee. Gracefully, he does say we, by the way. He gracefully turns his wings to try and help the other party members.
Okay, cool, awesome. Roll me another, you can do another dex check if you want.
All right, let's do it. Oh, whoops. That's a 4.
You just draw Blitz.
Yeah.
So, Fancy Boy, you fly over to Cornelius and Frank, and you see that Cornelius has now slammed into Frank, but as you're hovering above them, trying to grab with your other talon, your talon holding Blitz just loses grip.
Oh no, too much lotion.
Goodbye.
And Blitz, you fall, and now you land on right in between Frank and Cornelius on this pig.
Brother Cornelius.
Brother Cornelius is looking you straight in the face.
Wait, so are we on the ground at this point?
No, you're still falling.
How did I land?
Fancy Boy's like, whoa, whoops. And he's just gonna try and I guess swoop down and try and just grab all of them.
How close are we to this obsidian tower?
You're about 20 feet off the left side of it, or the right side of it.
Could I professional skydiver try to get myself close to the tower and shove a sword into it to see if I can slow myself down?
Absolutely. So first roll me an acrobatics check to kind of climb your way up off of these two fools.
I like that we're free falling and I'm climbing up.
Yeah, you're climbing up. Yeah, physics doesn't matter.
All right. That is a 13.
Okay. So you have managed, as you're free falling, you have managed to grab onto Brother Cornelius's shoulders and push yourself on the top of his head.
That will cost you.
Put it on my tab.
Now, how do you get over to the wall?
So I'm going to kick off of these guys who I don't know, just at this point trying to save myself, and I'm going to do like Lara Croft style, like pull out my 2 daggers and shove them in the wall, or try to see if I can slow myself down, like like any good Jackie Chan movie where he's falling down a carpet or something, like just some way to try to slow my descent.
Okay, roll me a dex check.
All right, that's going to be +4 actually. Wait,
+4.
Is that save or mod? Just mod, right?
No, it's just going to be your mod, and if you're proficient in it, you're going to add your proficiency bonus.
That is a 6 total.
Like
4 + 2, so 6.
So as
We're doing great.
Not gonna work.
You springboard off of Brother Cornelius's head, and as you do so, you try to flip. And as you're flipping, you pull out one of your daggers, but you just miss the mark by a foot. You're scraping at this tower, but you just can't seem to reach it. Fancy boy, you see Blitz just jumping, and you don't understand why he would ever.
No, do not do that. Well, I'm still gonna try, like, however I can to scoop all these guys up into my person.
Okay.
As I'm like, no.
Fancy boy, out of the corner of your eye, you see a raven start to fly around you.
Oh no! I mean, that was Holly going, "Oh no." Fancy boy's like, "Help me, brethren!"
and this raven then moves over, and you see it fly over next to Blitz. And Blitz, you just seem to start to slowly fall down. You're not falling at the same speed anymore, and you're just descending.
Okay, so like the raven's not touching me or anything. I gotta slow down my fall.
You felt its wing brush against the back of your neck, and then it moved away, and it's flying back towards Fancy Boy.
Instinctively, Blitz checks the back of his neck to see if anything got cut or put or placed there or taken.
Doesn't feel like a thing. Just feels like your gnomish skin.
And then he's very confused, still unsure whether or not this is a dream, and he's like now trying to like brace himself where he's gonna land somewhere a little softer than he would have before.
All right.
How far away from me is Blitz, or rather from Brother Cornelius?
From Brother Cornelius, Blitz is about 19 feet away at this point. And Brother Cornelius, you now see this raven flying towards your head, and it's coming in fast. Fancy boy,
my money pouch.
that's what concerns you right now.
Just in case.
Fancy boy, you can see this raven coming back from going over to Blitz. And Brother Cornelius, you start to feel a little lighter, and you don't seem to be falling as fast as Frank and Bob start to crash down to the ground below you. But you're just starting to flow very softly down, very lightly down to the ground.
How? So I'm at the ground now.
No, you're close. You're floating slower than normal, than you normally would.
So if I can see them falling, can I do a quick like Arcana check to see if I can see if they have feather fall on them or whatever?
Absolutely.
Oh man, I'm not. Well, okay, a 10. So 10 total.
So it was a 10. You know something's been cast on them. You just don't know what it is.
Okay.
And it was clear. It was clearly the raven that was flying around.
All right. Well, I'm ignorant, so I'm just like, the bird is helping. So whoever is looking like they're still going fast, I'm just gonna dive towards them to help them.
It's Frank and Bob.
Okay, Frank and Bob. I'm just gonna nosedive like Peregrine Falcon, like get them.
All right. So you nosedive to Frank. Frank, you see two talons coming to look like they're trying to grab onto you. What do you do?
So can I just start screaming and reach out and try and jump up and grab onto him at the same time squeezing onto my pig so he doesn't get left behind? I have tank legs. I have I never skip leg day. So I can squeeze the pig but also reach out and try and grab on.
Yeah, absolutely. So roll me a strength check.
So that's just D20 plus the proficiency one. Yeah.
It'll be plus your modifier plus your proficiency because you're proficient in strength.
So that'd be plus 3, then plus 2.
Yep.
Would it be?
You got it.
Okay. So including the roll, then I have 7. Really killing it with these rolls. So I'm assuming this is just the end of Frank and Bob. See you guys.
It was a good run, dude.
I will motivate you on to greater things. Feel free to eat me. I'd like to contribute.
We prefer the pig.
I mean, I'm fat too, man. I got some meat on me. Feel free to eat Frank. Gnomes are a delicacy, I hear, to bird people. So feel free to eat me. See you guys.
I'm a vegetarian.
So Fancy Boy, as you're descending, you see Frank trying to grasp frantically onto your talons, and he manages to get his hands around them, but they just keep slipping off, and he can't maintain a grasp and maintain a grasp of this pig that he is trying to ride. Do you try anything else?
Can I sacrifice myself for the pig somehow? I want the pig to live.
Unfortunately, I'm so low level.
This is the best. At this point, I imagine the pig's moving very quickly, and we've now slowed down. So he's out of reach of trying to throw a lasso or anything around it.
Yeah, Blitz and Brother Cornelius, you're still above both Fancy Boy, Frank, and Bob by about a good 15 feet now, because they're descending at a much quicker rate than you are.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying the pig is farther away from Frank.
Frank has got the pig locked in its legs.
Okay, but Fancy Boy is farther away from him, so I can't grab him.
You could try. I mean, you tried to grab onto him as he was trying to grab up, but he slipped away. So you're about 3 or 4. You're about 4 feet kind of above him, he's trying to grab onto you. You're scrambling down onto him.
Okay.
And it's just
at some point
it's just
I have
not
to
connecting.
Okay.
He can only miss so many times. I have to die.
I do. I have my quarterstaff, so I can kind of duck my quarterstaff down and try to let him grab onto that. That might be easier.
Yeah, do it.
You're gonna stab a pig.
Landon, I'll give you one last roll on this.
Like a spit.
All right. So strength check.
Yes. Actually, no. It's gonna be a dex check.
Okay. Well, I rolled anyway, so that I only have I'm not proficient in that, so it's an 11.
Okay. So you grab onto this quarterstaff that you see come out of Fancy Boy's wing. Where does Fancy Boy have? Does he Donatello this?
Yeah, he'll Donatello. I mean, maybe he's got it right in the middle. It's hard to sit down, but
Yeah.
He's probably just flying with it. Honestly, he's got it in his 2 talons. One talon's got a thing, and
it's just like perch.
yeah. He'll spit whatever. Bird jokes.
So, Frank, you managed to grab onto this quarterstaff that is now in the talons, and you're slowly falling down with the rest of the party as the raven now makes its way and lands on your head. And now you feel as though you're moving even slower. Fancy Boy, you feel as though the pressure between both you and Frank has dissipated, and that he's moving a lot less fast than he normally would have been. And the raven is kind of staring up at you at this point.
Can I try and eat the raven?
Sure. Give me
it seems like a character.
give me a dex check.
So it's a dex one?
Mm-hmm.
If you try to hurt the bird,
lucky
you.
Raven.
Yes.
Lucky for the raven, it's a 3.
So you take one hand off of the perch that Fancy Boy has made for you and try to grab the raven off your head, but as you do, it pecks you on the on the palm.
I got beat up by a bird, man.
Take 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
And Fancy Boy's like, do not.
Yeah, don't you dare. And now you have all slowly fallen down and made your way to the ground. And before you, you feel as your feet touch the ground, you start to feel them squish into the mud of this budgeting swamp that is slowly developing around this tower. And before you, you see 12 skeletons that are looking up almost as if they're cheering on this battle at the top of this tower. But then 6 of them turn and look towards you. And at that point, the raven gives you one last peck, Frank, on the top of your head, and then flies off. And you see before you, the raven turns into the image that you saw, Frank, of the woman fighting the giant on top of the obsidian tower. And she just looks at you and says, "Help." And it vanishes.
Frank says no.
Do we all see that or just Frank?
Everybody sees it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I thought you said, did we all say that? I'm like, I thought that was pretty much Frank. Yeah, but everybody sees that. But you kind of recognize the image, but not as clearly as Frank does.
Is she a friend of yours?
Does she have gold?
No.
And you start to see skeletons marching towards you. They're about 20 feet away, and they're coming towards you faster and faster and faster, which isn't really that fast for skeletons. But
Are they friends of yours?
No.
Can Frank and Bob just charge at him because they're kind of giant? Well, he's supposed to be a giant, so I assume giants just charge at stuff.
Absolutely. So you're gonna run at these skeletons. There's about 6 of them, and they're all kind of forming a shield wall as they march towards you. Which ones do you want to try to bowl over?
Well, I assume Frank hops on the back of Bob, and they act as like a bowling ball going down like a bowling alley, and they're like a bunch of pins. So they just run straight through the middle.
Okay.
Run at it, charge.
So you start to run and roll me a strength check.
Okay, so strength. Wow, I'm just these dice rolls, man. It's a 7.
Okay, so you charged this wall of skeletons, and as you get to them, you see Bob put his snout up, slam into one skeleton, but the skeleton just pushes you back. And you're almost dead-eyed with this skeleton now, and now everybody can roll me initiative.
Oh.
So what you're going to do for that is you're going to roll a d20 and then give me and add your initiative modifier, which is typically your dex bonus.
So
Ocho for me.
I got 6.
10.
You are rolling a d20, right? Like, just making sure.
That's what it says.
I don't know. I think you're
You got a sure it's on a D8?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It tells me it's a day 20, but I am very, very stupid.
do you have another D20 is my next question.
Yeah. Are you doing this digitally or do you actually have die?
no. He's on roll 20 right now, rolling.
Oh.
And it's great because I can see these rolls coming up, and it's beautiful
That's even worse.
for me.
No, you can verify. You can verify.
So Blitz, what was your initiative?
8.
8. Okay. Fancy Boy, what do you got?
13.
Love it.
Blitz is also not positive that he's awake right now.
So,
Yeah.
Frank, where are you at on this initiative?
Well,
Oh, what do you have? It was a 5 or 6?
6. I'm just like looking around like a moron. Like, what is any of this shit? What's? It's like looking like a squirrel or something. Just like throw my head around. It's like
Werewolf.
I think I'm drunk or something.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
and Brother Cornelius, what was your initiative roll?
I rolled a 10.
What? Nice. Now, Blitz, what's your dex modifier? Or what's your dex score?
15.
And Frank, what's your dex score?
13.
Okay, Blitz is going before Frank. So Fancy Boy, you have seen Frank ride into battle on his noble war
Of course.
pig, right? And he tries to crash through this line of skeletons that are marching towards you, and he just kind of bumps into them.
Well, after the lady asks for help, Fancy Boy is just, that's his calling, is to be a hero. So he's just like, we will help you. And he'll just like, if I can, I would like to, I'm also very impressed by this gnome's ferocity. Like, what a warrior. Like, he must be a legend where he's from, is what I'm thinking. Like a true legend. And his steed is so strange that he just must be magical. So what I'm going to try and do is kind of jump, like, as far as I can with my wings, like, and, like, land next to him.
Okay.
And just sort of magic missile the one that he bumped into.
Okay.
Just like...
I don't need your help. I got it.
Yes, you're very strong.
And then I try and eat her. Got a thing for birds.
Fight. So roll me some damage for that magic missile.
Please do not bite me. Level 1, it's just one missile, right?
It's three missiles. You
Oh,
get 3 missiles,
okay.
and then they add up. You'll get another one with each level.
Yeah. I've been too high a level for
I know, right?
Okay, so that's 6 total. In total.
6 total? Okay.
So total damage, so 3 missiles, 1 each.
Yep. So, Fancy Boy, you see, Frank, you see Fancy Boy land next to you in that very superhero kind of one knee.
Oh, yeah.
And then shoots.
He's practiced this.
Yeah. And then you see bones of the skeleton that is before you just start to fly off. You see the rib cage of this skeleton just break into brittle pieces as it gets pushed back about 8 feet behind the rest of this shield wall of skeletons. And it's slowly still moving forward, even though one of its femurs has been cracked and ribs are shattered. Brother Cornelius, you see both Frank and Fancy Boy now at the front of the fight, and you have witnessed Fancy Boy's power of just incinerating small little fractures of bones.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, pew.
Well, a friend in need is a friend with mead, as I like to say.
Oh!
Unfortunately,
I love mead.
this gnome with the pig tried to swat this raven who's certainly saved my life. So, and then tried to eat this bird person. So,
Not my fault.
Fortune does not smile upon this situation. I think I will choose to step back and continue to observe what is going on.
Okay.
Frankie, pussy.
Blitz, you have seen the damage caused by Fancy Boy and Frank's inept ability to charge through this skeleton, but you have also seen that Brother Cornelius is just starting to... He's not rushing into battle. He's kind of taking his time watching the situation unfold.
How far is Brother Cornelius away from me?
Brother Cornelius is about 5 feet behind you, and you're about 15 feet away from Frank and Fancy Boy, and this skeleton wall.
So he turns back to Cornelius. You gonna help with this, brother?
Hmm?
I don't know about you, but I've never encountered walking skeletons that were any kind of good news. So to each their own. And at that point, he turns back and knocks an arrow on his short bow.
Yeah.
And to launch it, it's any one of the skeletons that's like near kind of the fracas.
Okay, so they're in a line of 6, and you've seen one get pushed back with its bones kind of brittle from the spell that Fancy Boy had cast on it. But you see it's 3 skeletons in a line, the one that's been pushed back, and then 2 more.
All right, so I'll take just the first one.
Okay. Pick
the
them
far
off.
left, I guess.
Okay.
So it's a 1D.
Roll the hit.
All right. There's a 20 total.
Oh, yeah. I think you got it.
I think maybe. And it's 1d6 plus 2. That was a 1, so 3 total.
So
3
you notch this arrow, let it loose, and it flies across the battlefield as you see it hit the skull of the skeleton but shank off of it. That's on the far left. And you see bone just break into little pieces as there's now a hole in the head or in the skull of this skeleton. And Frank, before you now, you have 5 skeletons that are on your left and right, but the one that Fancy Boy has assisted you with is now about 8 feet behind this flank, and you've seen bones get broken off of it. But you're able to reach out and hit if you want either one of the skeletons that are on your left and right as well.
Which side was the Birdman? I keep forgetting. Fancy Boy.
I have a name. Racist.
What side's Fancy Boy on?
Fancy Boy's on your left.
All right, so I take my right. I have that dire flail. Mm-hmm. Remember that thing we made? Yeah, yep. I just start.
What does it look like? What does it look like?
Well, imagine 2 balls on the end of a stick. I'm just like spinning around like crazy. It's way too big.
Improv master right here.
Just spinning it around.
So
and, Bob just starts charging. We just start charging, start swinging wildly.
Okay.
Just like crazy.
So roll the hit for the first end of the flail.
So that's DB8 plus 3 then. So
it's going to be a D20 plus your ability modifier. Your
attack bonus.
Yep, your strength bonus. Yeah, it'll be your attack bonus. Yeah.
So it's 16 roll, 5 attack bonus at 21.
Okay, and roll for your second one.
Okay, that one's 10.
Okay. Now who's going to get hit with this first flail?
Well, I just start charging to my left. So I imagine if they're
to the left or to the right?
So no, to the right. Sorry. So if there's 2, there'd be 2 on the right then.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Same.
So roll for damage on the first one.
Okay, so that's the DB8 plus 3 then.
Yep.
So that's 9.
Okay, so you feel Bob start to rev up his back feet, and they're just getting faster and faster and pouncing and pouncing and pouncing and pouncing, and then it's almost like you press the trigger and he launches, and you start flying towards this. Yeah, he starts playing, and you start flying towards this skeleton on your right, and you slam the flail and into its face and then down into its collarbone as you see it crash through the collarbone of this skeleton, disabling its entire left side and ripping through the rib cage. And the skeleton just kind of looks at you like, really, bro? Just like look with that look on its bones, just questioning what you're doing. And but as you come back around with the other side of your flail, it flies up and it almost looks as if it's going to hit the skeleton's chin, but just misses. And this skeleton then strikes back at you.
Will Frank die again?
So let's talk about what crits do. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. You take 3 points of damage as this skeleton dodges that second flail and shoves its sword into your shoulder and skewers it and turns it a little bit just to inflict enough pain to...
Oh, no.
Oh, just a flesh wound, as the knight from Monty Python would say.
Now, Fancy Boy... Yeah.
Fancy Boy's like, I cannot heal you.
Don't need it. Don't need no healing. Bob will lick it better.
Fancy Boy, two of the skeletons that are directly in front of you both swing at the same time, and the first blade comes down and slices your wing.
No, I'm so beautiful.
For 3 points of damage.
All
But
right.
as the other one pulls its sword down on top of you, it misses and clanks against the sword of the first skeleton, and it can't connect to you.
Good. 3 points of damage is a lot for me, though. That's a lot.
Blitz, the next skeleton runs towards you and takes his sword out as it's running and looks like he's trying to jump and stab you through the chest, but instead he just stabs the ground right in front of you and is kind of looking up at you like, shit.
Beautiful.
And Brother Cornelius, you see one of the skeletons peel off of the group that Frank was trying to hit and run towards you, and definitely hits. I'm guessing a 21 will hit you. That's good.
Sorry, can we pretend Frank got knocked out for like 30 seconds so I can run to the bathroom? He's just down, and everything happens after this. He has no memory of, so it doesn't matter.
Absolutely, go for it.
Sweet.
Brother Cornelius. So this would be an AC check, Brother Cornelius. So I'm rolling my attack against your AC. So I got a 21. I'm guessing that's going to hit if it's equal to or greater than your AC.
My AC is 16.
Yeah. So you take another... Oh, actually, only 4 points of damage.
Sweet.
That's impressive.
Jesus.
16 AC at level 1?
Yeah, that's really high. It's armor, I guess.
Yeah, he's got the chainmail.
Yeah, that's why.
My turtle has an AC of 17, which is pretty rad, but it'll never change ever.
Yeah.
So, Fancy Boy, you now have these two skeletons just clinking onto you. One has actually stabbed you in the wing, but the other one just doesn't seem to be as smart and just is, for some reason, repeatedly smashing the sword of this other skeleton.
Yeah, well, I had just preened that wing and very carefully, and now that it's been stabbed, I'm so mad. So I am going
Frank
to
woke up. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna Ray of Frost that one that got my wing and just like, no, be gone.
All right, roll the hit.
That is 14.
Oh, you got it. Get some damage.
Sweet. I didn't look up my spells. I'm dumb. Ray of Frost is D6.
Mm-hmm. I believe
1d6.
So.
I think it's on level 1. So oh well, yeah, 5.
Okay, so you look up at the skeleton that cut your shoulder, and you just you see this.
Nice.
You launch this frost, and you see the bones just start to become brittle and crack. But it's cracked from the legs down, so you see his torso has now hit the ground, but he's still trying to flail.
Could I, without provoking an attack of opportunity, just kind of back up, like just jump back? Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna jump back and like back. I'm gonna let Pig Rider take care of the rest of this situation and just stay behind him.
Well, sorry.
Oh,
keep going.
Brother Cornelius, you have been engaged by one of these skeletons that has run because Frank couldn't do his job and hit both of them. So it ran past and tried to assail you, or did assail you.
Well, the goddess has clearly called Brother Cornelius into action, so it's Warhammer time, I think. Oh yeah. So I will attack with my Warhammer.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to roll your d20 and add your strength modifier and your proficiency bonus.
Also, it was 1d8 for the Brave Frost. I messed up and did 1d6, so honestly, that was hurtful to me, so it's fine.
Okay, roll the 20, and then, sorry, what was the rest of it?
You're going to add your strength modifier and your proficiency bonus.
22.
22? All right. You slam your Warhammer down. Now roll me some damage.
Uh, 2.
That was on the die?
Yep, the it's 8-sided, right?
Yep, and then you add your strength bonus on top of that.
Oh, 3.
With the yep. Okay, so 3 points of damage. As you slam your Warhammer across the shoulder blades of this skeleton, you see it bash through it, but only gets to the neckline of, or the collarbone of this skeleton.
Brother Cornelius needs to work out.
Blitz, you see Brother Cornelius trying to bash into this skeleton that's in front of him, but you also see the skeleton that has charged you but slammed his sword into the ground because he missed you at such a, you know, ferocious swing, with such a ferocious swing.
Cool. So he pulls out both of his daggers and leans down and basically goes to town on this one right in front of him. Like, so, like maybe kind of cross motion across the bony neck or something.
Yeah.
Just to try to end this one in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, would that be a dual strike, I guess?
Yeah, so you're going to roll twice.
First one with bonus, second one without?
Yeah.
Okay. First one, that is a 9 plus 4, so 13.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, it's a 5, then plus, I guess, 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
the first one will hit. As you swing in, now give it some damage.
All right. That is, damn it, that's a 1 plus, so 3 damage.
A 3 damage. All right.
That's twice now I've thrown 1s for damage. Eric's like, well, the whole party's dead tonight.
This is a good game, guys.
Yeah.
Perhaps perhaps Brother Cornelius waited too long with the healing spells.
I haven't been touched yet. I'm just not swinging. I'm not hitting anything.
Frank, you still have this skeleton that's in front of you and that you have slammed into with Bob, your noble steed, below. You see now that there's that one skeleton that had been pushed back by Fancy Boy is starting to march in close as well. What do you want to do?
I can't. There's not much I can do, but like close my eyes and swing.
Okay, roll me to hit.
So sorry, what's that one again?
You're going to roll a d20 plus your strength modifier.
Yep.
Plus your proficiency bonus.
Oh, God damn it. So it's 11.
Now do it again, because you have the flail.
Okay, so another d20 or the d8 this time?
The d20. The d8's going to be your damage when this is to actually strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one's 13. So
okay.
13.
So it's 13. So you're going to hit, and because you took 2-weapon fighting, you now get to add on your second attack where you wouldn't normally be able to. You get to add your ability modifier. So roll the d8 and add the +3 to it.
Okay. Oh, 11.
Okay. So you swing at the skeleton with the left side of your dire flail, and it just goes right over the head and behind the shoulder of this beast that's in front of you. But then you kick the bottom of your flail up, and you just see the flail really strike the spine of the skeleton as you see the flail drive up through, and as the ball hits, goes up the spinal column, you start to see all the bones shattering and breaking off one by one by one, and then you see the head just pop off and go
It's
flying.
raining bone, boys.
Yep. And
Yells out.
And Fancy Boy, the skull of this skeleton flies behind Frank and just lands right on your shoulder.
Frank yells Kobe.
Fancy Boy is just like, takes the skull and is like, no, that's not part of my outfit. Get out.
Now everyone at this point sees 3 of these skeletons just explode. The one that was pushed back originally by Fancy Boy bursts into almost 1,000 little pieces and just disintegrates onto the ground.
Fancy Boy's like, did I do that? I'm so strong.
Fancy Boy, one of the other ones in front of you, bursts, and all of the shell of bones rolls down your feathers and kind of gets stuck inside.
No!
You feel some crisp pieces of bone manage to get inside of your weave of feathers.
Oh, Fancy Boy just starts immediately preening, like just like taking his little beak and just going constantly cleaning himself. Just like stands just like a bird, just like under his wing, like
yeah. Just like
yeah, exactly.
So Bob the pig starts licking up the bone dust. I assume that's what that pig eats.
Yeah, that's his calling in life. And Brother Cornelius, you see the skeleton in front of you just pop. But all the bones are still intact. Or they don't disintegrate, they just fall to the ground. So there's just a pile of bones with a skull on top resting in front of you at this point. So what everyone sees now is Blitz. There is still the skeleton in front of you. Fancy Boy, you disengaged with both of those skeletons, and there's one in front of you. And then Frank, you still have one that's on your flank to your right.
Okay.
Flank on Frank.
And Blitz, the skeleton that you tried to crash into rips its sword out of the ground, and you can see the muck and swamp come with it as it tries to just lift it up and holy fuck stabs you with a crit.
Oh
no.
Actually, it's not 6 points of damage.
Well, yeah, that hurts a lot. 1.
Okay. And Frank, you see both skeletons now start to engage you. One that Fancy Boy backed away from, and the other one that was in front of you. And one is going to hit for 3 points of damage.
Just a flesh wound, he says as he hops around.
So this pig hops, and one skeleton comes up behind you and tries to slice you, but Bob hops you out of the way. But as Bob hops you forward, you land directly into the sword that is flying from the second skeleton right into your torso.
And I yell out, Bob, you moron, your dinner tonight.
No allegiance.
Fancy Boy, as you look around the field, you see that all of the skeletons, the rest of the skeletons that were far beyond this flank are now all blowing up. And you see an old man behind. You can kind of get a glimmer of an old man in robes. But you also see that Frank has now been engaged on both sides, back and front, by 2 skeletons. But Blitz has had a sword rammed through him.
Oh no!
Ow!
At this point,
they need help. I assume that the one with the pig is a strong hero and can handle himself, since he's so reckless. So I'm gonna go help Blitz because he's been run through. with one of those swords. So I'm gonna go ahead and ray of frost that skeleton.
Okay.
Don't miss.
Yeah, I will try my best. I missed.
What'd
Oh,
you
I
roll?
already forgot.
What'd you roll? What'd you roll?
I rolled 3.
Yeah, you totally missed.
Yeah, I missed hardcore.
So, Blitz, you see Fancy Boy turn around and you see this,
I will save you.
and as Fancy Boy says that, you see this beam of ice come flying at you, and it misses it doesn't hit anything but the ground below your feet as the muck turns to frozen icicles and your feet start to get a little chilly.
What were you aiming at?
I was trying to. I suck. I'm
missed.
sorry. I will save you next time.
Brother,
I was distracted because there's garbage in my feathers, and I was trying to keep them very clean.
Well, there is a blade in my stomach.
I apologize. I'm trying to help you. Like
It was
one
also
bird,
very dirty.
look, one bird can only do so much. Okay. So rude. I don't even know you people. I'm just trying to be a hero here.
That raven saved like 4 people. You're a pretty shitty
Shut
bird.
I just presume they're the same person. All birds look the same.
I am not saving any of you now. I'm starting with this racist talk. That's not true. I save everyone because I'm a hero.
Try to be here.
Brother Cornelius, you see at this point the bones at your feet, but you notice that Blitz has been stabbed through his abdomen, and you see a blade coming out the back of his out the back of his back, as they say, and you see blood just dripping down his body as he's slowly being weakened, and you see Frank and the noble Bob being surrounded by two skeletons as well, while Fancy Boy is trying his hardest.
So it sounds
He's trying.
It sounds to Brother Cornelius that clearly the Blitz is the one who is ailing the most. So
If you were to look, yes, yeah, you would notice that.
Blitz is a pincushion right now.
So I will. How far away is Blitz?
He's only about 10 feet away from you.
So that's not quite touch range, right?
No, but you could run up to him. When we do attack rounds, the round itself is about 6 seconds of real time, and you get to do 2 actions. You get to make a move and then one of your actions.
Okay. In that case, I will cast Cure Wounds.
Are you going to run right up to him?
Yes.
All right. So you.
I'm gonna regret this.
No, you're not at all.
I
So
will be right back. I have to go put my birds to bed, so keep fighting.
Yep.
I'll return. It'll take me 2 seconds.
So, Brother Cornelius, you run up to Blitz, and you lay your hand on him. And how much do you heal him for?
I believe this is a 1d8
You got it.
plus spellcasting modifier.
Yep.
That would
So
be-
that's going to be your, I believe for you it's wisdom plus your proficiency bonus.
Please heal me for all.
Would that be medicine?
No. Your modifier is going to be your wisdom skill
Oh, okay.
modifier, so it's a 3
3.
plus your proficiency, which is a 2.
Okay. That would be 8.
So, Blitz, you feel the hand of Brother Cornelius just touch your back, and you feel instantly relieved and better. And you manage to move back and slide this sword out of your abdomen. What do you do as this thing is looking down at you?
Oh, it's up to me now.
Oh, yeah.
Can I take that sword and return the favor to said?
Are you gonna take the sword from him?
Yeah. The one that came, I just pulled out of me.
Yeah. Well, you pushed
I'm
it.
gonna turn it in,
You
shove
pushed
it.
You pushed it back like he's still holding onto it, but you managed to clasp onto it and slide it out. So if you want, you can make me a dex check or a strength check to see if you can grab it from him.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do a dex.
Okay.
That is a 15 total.
Okay. So as you slide this out, you slowly grip the sword with your palms, the blade, and it pulls out of your abdomen, but you bash the skeleton over the head, and he releases the blade, and you quickly grab it with your palm. And now roll me to hit.
What would be the?
You're gonna use strength with no proficiency.
All right. So nat 20.
Wah, 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 wah. Boosh.
Beautiful.
Now roll me 2d8s plus your strength.
2d8s. That's 10.
Or I lied. 2d6 plus your strength.
2d6 on each of them, or just total?
So you roll the dice on a crit. Land and stone on a crit. You double your dice, and then add your regular modifier to it.
So it was a 6 and a 4 plus 1, so 10 total, or 11 total.
So you smack this skeleton over the head, grab onto the cross hilt of the sword, stab it back into the chest of the skeleton, and grind the bones up as you lift the sword and the skeleton up into the air.
Yes.
How do you finish him?
With class. No.
With the kiss.
Tea bags.
Yeah, so I lift him up off the ground until he basically just like spreads apart, and then I like with the one last swing, I get his head just send it sailing towards Fancy Boy.
Oh, Fancy Boy was only here.
And then
Fancy
Boy.
Frank says pretty good for a little gnome.
Fancy Boy, there is a skull flying towards you right now.
No, not again. Sorry, birds are put to bed. They're all sleepy. Okay.
And then like takes the sword and throws it on the ground. Unless is this a good sword, or is this just kind of a crap sword?
You don't think there's anything special about it, but it just looks like a normal short sword that you've
so
seen
then just
many,
throws
many
it on the
times
ground.
before. Yep.
Like
Sounds like the price of healing, Blitz.
sword's yours if you want it.
Thank you. Grab the sword.
So
I'm not happy about this skull.
So Frank, you are now engaged both from in front and behind by skeletons. What do you do?
So I say, everyone stay back. I got this. And then I 360 helicopter flail. I get them both.
All right, roll the hit.
So I do strength to see if I hit first. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll roll strength plus your proficiency, so it's going to be
So 18.
that one hits.
Hey.
Roll it again.
Okay. Sorry, I'm slowly learning.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that one was a 10.
And that's with what did you roll? Oh, 5. Yeah. Okay. So sweet. So now roll me for damage on the first one.
So that's the D8. Okay, so that's 30. Is it plus the attack bonus, right? Or
Yeah,
is it plus
it's just plus the attack bonus. You don't get your proficiency on this.
Okay, so 13.
All right. So Bob charges up his back right foot and his front right foot, and they just start to rev up and 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 rev up, and then you just unleash him as you start to flail around, and you knock the head off of the one behind you, and that goes flying at Fancy Boy as the second flail misses the one in front of you. And as you make that, as Bob makes that turn and the flail goes over its head, it swings its sword at you. If I can find a D20 to hit for another 4 points of damage.
It's all right, I'm still good. I've got 3 health left. Just a
yeah,
flesh wound.
1. That's a lot.
Fancy Boy, you have 2 skeleton heads flying at you
No!
from different directions. What are you up to?
And these are animated skeleton heads?
Kind of. They're still chuckling, right? The jaws are still flapping as they come for you.
No.
But you see, the only skeleton you see left on the field is the one that is currently stabbing Frank and Bob.
Well, I'm gonna try and hit that one stabbing them, and then just do a duck and like kind of lift my wings up.
Yep.
The duck from those skulls, and just be like, yeah! And then just use a ray of frost on the last skeleton.
Okay.
All right, that is a 10.
Yeah. So roll me either an acrobatics or an athletic.
Okay. 10 to hit, and then let's see.
He's gonna hit me.
Oh, definitely does it. So a 9 for acrobatics check.
So you cast your ray, and Frank, you hear Bob just squeal a little. And you look back and you see his tail has been frozen.
Oh no!
And Fancy Boy, you raise your wings up to try and deflect these. Is that what you wanted to do? You wanted to deflect it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you manage to swat one of the skeletons away, and it goes flying now back to Blitz.
Oh no!
And the other one hits you right in the chest, and is now just
I hate this.
gnawing right on your chest.
My beautiful chest feathers that I preened just 2 seconds ago. Did I pull them off? Okay.
Yeah. What are you gonna do to this thing? It's just clawing onto your feathers.
Yeah, I'm gonna hate that. So I'm gonna try and really daintily pull it off because I do not want to pull out any of my beautiful feathers. So I'm gonna just extract him and then throw him on the ground and step on him.
So you manage to slowly pull him off, and as you lift it up, his jaws are still.
I hate that.
Just looking at you in the face, and then you slam it to the ground, and it breaks into hundreds of little pieces.
Take that, evil!
And you slowly start to see the pieces melt into the marsh.
Okay, not cool with that.
Great job smashing those heads. Maybe if you could actually fight the real skeletons, that'd be great.
I'm just going to send a really angry bird look.
Yeah. You're throwing bird shade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother Cornelius, you having done your duty to Blitz, you see that Fancy Boy has now rocketed a skeleton head flying back at Blitz and you, but you also see that Frank is engaged and with a skeleton that has now shoved his sword into the torso of Frank, gallantly missing the noble steed, Bob.
At this point, Brother Cornelius doesn't know who's on whose side, but so there's a skull flying towards us still.
It's just ratcheting towards Blitz.
Okay.
Oops.
And is there?
But you don't think that skeleton head could harm Blitz in any real way?
Okay. Is there any? Well, Blitz already got his fate for the day. So. How many remaining skeletons are there?
There's just the one that's attacking Frank.
How far off is that?
It's about 15 feet in front of you.
Can I think I will charge it with my warhammer.
Yes, do it. So roll me to hit.
Ooh, it's the 20-sided dice plus your it's going to be
plus your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus. Yep. You got it, buddy.
10.
10? Okay. So
I'm mailing all you guys new dice.
I sent Stone a set of beautiful dice, and I need to come. We need to get him blessed by somebody.
Well, the last roll I rolled a 19. I try to help out my Australian friend. Single digits.
We're not friends yet, buddy. We'll see if you save me. All right, we'll see if you save me.
Trying. Don't try to eat me.
So, Brother Cornelius, you run and charge past Bob, and as you're running, you swipe with your warhammer down onto this skeleton and miss it completely, and your warhammer crashes into the ground right in front of the toes, the two little pincer toes of Bob. And Bob just looks back and at you. Blitz, you see Frank riding Bob, being stabbed in the side. You see Brother Cornelius charging and missing what seemed to be an easy hit, but not, and slamming his warhammer down into the ground. You see Fancy Boy flying this, for some reason, throwing a skull back at you.
Did not throw. False.
But
Could I? Oh, sorry.
But you still see Frank engaged. Or
Could Blitz take his short sword to the flat side of it and just bat that skull towards the other skeleton?
Absolutely. You're gonna have to roll me a dex check.
I had
You
that
got it.
exact same idea. I was like, that's
All right.
exactly what Jack should do. Oh, Blitz.
That is another nat 20.
What?
yeah.
So
Stealing all the 20s.
Jesus, that's both of my D20s hit nats tonight too.
So as you swing it as a baseball bat, and the broad side of this short sword hits the skull, and you see it fly, and it arcs with such skill that it crosses over the head of Frank and smashes into the open chest of this skeleton that Frank had wounded. And you see the flying chompers just crash through the spine, and Frank, before you see the skeleton crumble to bones.
I didn't need any help from no stupid gnome. All right.
And just quietly to himself,
Stick to your books.
Blitz is a further away. Just goes, Kobe.
And now, as you all look across this field, all that's before you is you see a stranger, a man with long white hair that's been pulled up into a ponytail, walking towards you. And he
The
says,
fabled hipster.
"Did you say the fable hipster?"
Yeah.
He's a ponytail. You didn't say
Heard
man
tales of
bun.
this guy.
You didn't say man bun.
Yeah.
He loves typewriters and
And he says, it seems like the Archmagus was somewhat right about you, even though I seem to be unright and wrong. But thank you for your assistance to us. We are sorry it was such a stressful time for you. But
You are so welcome, fellow magic user and wizard. And Fancy Boy will bow.
yes, exactly. You should be bowing before me. Thank you very much. My skill
Piece of
is
stuff.
unmatched in these realms. But don't tell the Archmagus that.
I don't know if
So
you've heard of him.
fancy.
I have 3 questions for you.
Yes. What are they?
Where are we? Who are you? And where are we?
Well, seeing that you've been transported here, how about I tell you one of those things? Maybe 2, not 3. But you are in the kingdom of Cantir. And what was your other question? I forgot it.
Who are you?
Who am I? I am Adjunct, servant of the great Archmagus Palandria. And she would very much like to see you. Would you please join me inside of the tower?
No.
No? Why not? Little boy?
I'll have you know.
We only
I'm
want
40.
to reward you for what you have done in service to us. Be it gold, gems, ruby, whatever you decide.
Yes, all of those.
I want to eat the bird.
Does
What?
this guy...
I want that raven. I want it served up on a plate.
Please don't listen to him. I won't let him. I'll kill him.
Hungry. Frank always eats after a battle. Also, do you have any band-aids?
Yes, we can heal you as soon as you come in.
I don't
And-
trust you.
Well,
Is it?
you don't have to trust me, but it was the Archmagus who summoned you. And you should be trusting her. She is the only
Is
good
Pal-
in this realm.
Is Palandria the one we saw on top of the tower?
Yes, unfortunately, she was assaulted by a past native of these lands. And that is why she had summoned you, because we did not think we could do this alone. And I want to thank you and
Can I
reward you.
do an insight check on this guy?
Absolutely.
I want to know, like, I mean, I think he's fancy, but I also am concerned about everything else. But the fanciness
Is really what's...
Yeah, 17.
Well, you bird, I would like you to come in, and we will reward you. And as he says that to you, you absolutely believe that that he's telling the truth. That they had summoned you, that they needed help. There's no tone of falseness in his voice.
All right. I'm gonna relay that to the party and just be like, I think he means it. I'm a good judge of character.
The bird speaks. Does the tower look comfortable?
It looks like it's one giant piece of obsidian. So whatever's comfortable for Brother Cornelius. If that's his thing, sure.
What did you say about rubies and gold and other some such expensive items?
Well, we'd like to pay you for your services. We didn't think you would do this out of just pure goodwill, though we would like to. I mean, this is a business operation.
Other
Do we have to
Cornelius
split
heads
it?
to the tower.
What'd you say, Cornelius?
I head to the tower.
Okay. So everybody sees as Adjunct says reward you. You just see Brother Cornelius bolt towards the tower. He's just like, there's like actual dust that's just floating in the air as Brother Cornelius beelines it to the obsidian. Well, that was easy. Is he always like this?
We all just met.
Oh yes, that's right. I'm sorry.
I figured it was. Were you drunk or something? I mean, summoning us and just like, why was it in the air? It could have been on the ground. These guys can't fly.
I don't. It wasn't me who summoned you. You'll have to speak with the Archmagus.
All right. Well,
Does this guy look like he would have anything important on him, like anything fancy that I might grab out of a pocket?
Try to swindle you. Give me a perception check.
It's gonna be +4. Oh God, 8 total.
8. So you don't notice anything out of the ordinary. You see his robes are very plain. There's nothing special about them. You do see a little bit of a bump underneath his the right side of his chest. Underneath, between you would assume that it's between the robe and his body, but that's about it.
Okay.
Well, it seems that one of you has decided to join us in the tower. Would you please come?
I'll join you. Yeah, just tell me where to go. I gotta clean myself up. This skull's. And I was fancy, and then now I'm not fancy anymore.
Frank's like, oh, I don't want to trust no fancy hipster looking dude. But then Bob, who like apparently like an iced up tail or something's like, he's sniffing. He seems to want to go inside. He trusts the dude. So Frank's like, all right, Bob. All right.
I love that Bob is really the one in charge of this whole expedition.
Well, he's the smartest person of the group. So just can't speak, just can't verbalize it. You know?
All right.
So
Blitz is gonna go help Frank get up and just like clean himself off. He sees another gnome and he assumes like, all right, I should help out my own brethren.
Frank then swings the flail at Blitz. I don't need no gnome. I hate gnomes.
You hate gnomes?
Yeah, I hate gnomes.
You is a gnome.
What? I ain't no gnome. I'm a giant. Stand 45 feet tall. I'm just temporarily short.
I mean, you got problems, boss. And he just walks away.
You got problems. You got a flail coming at your face, boy.
Blitz,
I'm horribly injured, so I miss.
Blitz, make me a dex check.
All right. It's gonna be +2.
This is where you want those crits.
It's a 5.
So, Frank, you swing your flail, and Blitz, you try to do a side step away from the flail, but it just slams into your torso. But it doesn't have enough power to really do much damage because of the of the injuries that Frank has suffered. So it's more like a love tap as it hits you.
Everybody gets one, and that's your one.
Don't touch me
That's
again,
how
and
it
we'll be all right.
Are you guys finished? Could we proceed now?
I hope so.
Hurry up!
As you see Brother Cornelius just like clawing at the obsidian walls.
us.
Please follow me. Yes, follow me. And you see Adjunct slowly, he starts to walk towards the tower and meets up with Brother Cornelius. And as you follow him, Frank, are you riding Bob towards the tower? So
Frank's like, "Oh, I want to go," but Bob just starts running, and Frank's just sitting on the back.
So Blitz, you make it up to the tower as well, and your eyes start to delight because this is the most beautiful, pristine obsidian you have ever let your eyes on. Almost to the point where you really want to see if you can chip some of this off because it looks so precious to you. But you don't notice any doors. And yep.
How do we get inside of here?
Oh, don't you worry. We have everything under control. Everything under control. And you see him point his finger and make a triangle. And you see this triangle take shape in the air, almost like he's drawing with a laser pointer, and it turns gold and rotates all the way to the obsidian tower and locks into the side wall, and you see the triangle is now pointed downwards. And as it locks and touches the obsidian, you see almost like a sheen be lifted, a veil rise up, and you hear the Zelda theme music, right? And he says, just this way. As you can see in the distance through this veil, you can see the flicker of lights and sconces.
We're totally going to die. 100%.
And at that moment, Bob crashes through the lot of you and just Leroy Jenkins it into the tower.
I think your pig is hungry.
Well,
He's a moron, but he's never wrong.
Hey, bird person.
Yes.
Could you pitch me real quick?
Okay. But where?
Just on the arm.
All right. That wasn't my first choice until pinch your arm with a tiny talon.
I was convinced this was a dream.
I don't think it is. I think it's magic.
All right.
Do you not like magic?
I'm not a fan of anything that doesn't glow and shine.
You might not have a good time here.
I'm Blitz, by the way.
My name is Fancy Boy. And I'm a fancy boy, as I was told by my parents.
That's your name, Fancy
That's
Boy?
my name. Yes, my name is Fancy Boy, and I am a hero from my town.
Is it with an F?
Yeah, with an F. Fancy Boy. I am very fancy. I was told that I was very fancy, and I am here to be a hero, so that's why we're here, to be heroes. So
maybe you. Well, it's a
why are
pleasure
you
to meet
here?
you. I'm here to look for something shiny.
I like shiny things. He just looks around like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like you just like birded him out. He's like, oh. Ooh.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. And he
Nice
offers
to meet you
offers a
too.
hand.
And he'll give you like a weird, very moisturized talon to shake. It's great. And he'll say, like, hooray! We'll go find shiny things. And he just like bounds off.
I head into the tower, or Blitz does.
Okay, so Brother Cornelius, you have seen Frank and Bob steamroll into the tower ahead of you before you even had the chance. You see Blitz vanish through the veil as Fancy Boy is kind of dancing around looking for, excited about possible coinage. Are you walking through that crest?
Beats the swamp, so I will.
I agree. Anything beats this swamp. I agree with you. Yes.
What do we see when we step in?
Fancy Boy, are you following behind everyone?
Yes, I'm now closer to Blitz because I feel like we have a rapport. So Fancy Boy's just like, you've spoken to me. The other ones I don't trust because they're crazy. But yes.
And Adjunct follows behind you, and as you step forward, you almost feel the flow of air stop as the sheen goes back down. And before you see a long hallway of all pure obsidian as well. It's 40 feet in height and 100 feet in depth. And along each side, you see sconces that are illuminating this obsidian with the dancing fire coming off of it. And Brother Cornelius, you cannot believe the shapes and figures you're seeing from these dancing lights. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
So it's, if the saving throw is a 5 to the bonus, I guess that is. So it's 10 plus 5, 15?
Yep. So you start to slowly get mesmerized by the lights that are flickering before you, but you just continue to walk down the hallway. Frank, as Bob is charging, he slowly starts to stop because he doesn't realize where he is anymore. But you start to look around in wonderment as this hallway is almost illuminated by a disco ball. But make me a wisdom save.
A wisdom save.
Yes.
So what do I do for that?
So it's going to be your wisdom modifier plus a d20. And if you're
Okay.
proficient in if your wisdom is a proficiency skill, you get to add your it's
Nah,
definitely
it's
not. Yeah.
I got 4. So I just
So
I'm also delirious, laying backwards on the pig, like, I'm just like basically passed out.
So as you're kind of riding back on this pig, you just start to Bob just stops and you are mesmerized, almost as you can't take your eyes off the deepest depths of this obsidian, and you just remember a memory from your youth. So tell us something about yourself.
Oh, I've repressed most of my youth. My parents tried to raise me as a gnome. They put me into school, but I was having none of that. So, I don't know. Always identified as a giant. I've always felt bigger than I was. And I'm just thinking back to my repressed childhood, when my parents were mean to me, tried to make me learn. Frank ain't got no time for learning.
Nobody else hears this. You just see him staring. You see him he cannot remove his eyes from the ceiling, staring at the ceiling of this. And you see Adjunct go up to him and just tap on his forehead. Are you awake? Are you awake? These obsidian walls tend to drive you into memory. Hello? Hello?
What's with your voice? Were you castrated as a baby? What's happening here?
What? What are you talking about? I've never been castrated in my entire life.
Oh God!
Maybe twice.
Make it
I don't
stop!
no.
Someone stab my ears! Someone stab my ears, please! Bob, eat my face! Eat my face, Bob! Bob, eat me!
It seems that he's awake. This is great. Let us continue on. Please try to avoid the lights and staring too closely. Thank you.
Oh God! Is there anywhere I can jump off to my death?
No, no. you can fall 3 feet off of the pig. If you
Oh my
This
God.
must be the
It's a tall ass
torture.
pig.
Yeah, that pig is huge.
Fancy
I'm
Boy will
3
just
foot
cover his eyes with like his little talon hands and be like, "You said not to look, okay?"
And Blitz has done just the opposite. He's scanning the room for anything he can get his hands on.
Blitz, you don't see anything, and this room is completely desolate besides these lit sconces. But you start to make your way to the end of the hall, which then you see. What's interesting about this is you see a 20-foot tall archway door but it's made out of not obsidian, but a burnt ash wood. Or, excuse me, a white ash wood. And he says, right through here, please. And you see the doors open without any assistance. And all you see through these doors is another large, instead of a rectangle room, this is squared, and it's a 40 by 40 foot room. It seems like it's an audience chamber because you see stairs that go up to a dais. And the sole piece of furniture above these stairs is a beautifully crafted white ash chair. Please, through here, the Archmagus would like to talk with you.
Blitz sort of nods his head and walks in.
Fancy Boy's still covering his eyes. Can I look out?
I would assume you should be looking at all times, but that is just my thought. I don't. I'm not going to tell you how to, do your business.
No.
As they say.
No, he's cleaning himself. So yeah, he'll walk in and look around and I kind of want to. I don't really know if he can tell if anything here is magical. I guess I could do an Arcana check to see.
Go for it.
If something is strange in here. Well, nope, I don't know anything. I got a 2. So I know nothing.
These sconces are shooting off fire.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, so sparkly.
Frank, you just see Bob just carries you in.
Yeah, I can't see
doors.
nothing.
Yeah. And Brother Cornelius, are you moving in with the party?
Adjunct.
Yes. What? What is it?
Where are your servants? How come we haven't seen anyone yet?
What servants? Why do we need servants here?
Even people. Who are we? We've seen no one. Seems odd.
Why is that odd? It's not odd to me.
Who would deliver the riches to my hefty gold bag?
I believe I could do this.
Just you?
Oh, so he's the servant. Yeah.
Seems a little odd. So I follow. Brother Cornelius follows him into the room.
Okay, so you follow behind Adjunct, right? And as you all make your way into the room, these doors close behind you as well. And all you can see are the same set of sconces flickering around the room, igniting it with these dancing waves of flame. And you see the chair in front of you that's 5 steps up off of the ground, off the ground floor. And you see, Frank, out of your dreary eyes, you see the woman that was fighting the giant atop the tower come out of a back room and stand in front of the chair. And everyone now sees her velvet robes that look just absolutely dazzling. But you notice that she has black hair, and on her right side she has one blonde streak that comes down.
Fancy Boy loves her robes. He's like,
And you see her start to walk down the stairs, and as she's doing so, the adjunct says, "No, Archmagus, you must not." And she says, "Adjunct, be quiet. It is going to do no harm to the foundation of this world if I meet these friends on the level. Hello." As she walks down to stand right with you instead of sitting in her chair. She says, "Thank you. I'm sorry I had to summon you in this way. I have been watching you for many a day. I am in need of your services and meant to bring you here, let's say, in a more easier manner. But we were attacked by an old friend of the realm, so to speak. And I didn't know what to do. I was being overwhelmed. And unfortunately, I may have miscalculated a little. But I am sorry. But please, what is it that you desire? I thank you for helping us."
Fancy Boy throws himself at her feet and is just like, "Oh, my lady, thank you for bringing us here. Your robes are so beautiful. They're so fancy." And he's just like he gives her shoes like a little smooch, just a little bird smooch.
Interesting. I did not know this was how you would behave. But
Please teach me to be a fancy person like you're so fancy.
how? What would you like to know?
I want great magic to be a hero.
Well,
And he stands up really tall.
that's better. That's the fancy boy I had been scrying on.
Preens himself.
And you, Blitz? Frank?
Yeah, what?
And Cornelius?
Why'd you pick me?
Yes.
You're
Why did you pick him?
Wouldn't you like to know? But Blitz, you're more cunning than you ever imagined, and I've seen more in you with a slight spark of goodness in your heart. And that is why I chose you.
Does that goodness involve getting a lot of rubies and diamonds and gems?
If you so choose.
I choose.
Then we shall find a way to make it so.
Sounds good to me.
He needs some food.
Adjunct!
He's on-
Adjunct, bring the food! Bring the food! And you see Adjunct...
Now I need a bigger weapon.
Adjunct skulks away, and you see him reluctantly come out with a trough, a giant plate of food, and places it in front of Bob.
Bob is pleased. I have one request. She's magical, right?
Oh yeah.
Fix my height.
Your height? What do you mean, fix your height?
I am but a wee midget. I want to be how I feel on the inside.
Tell me, how
I'm
do
a
you...
45-foot tall giant in the body of a despicable gnome.
Can you give him 4-foot long legs, but his torso and head?
It's still the same. He's like, it's like a T-Rex almost.
Yeah.
This is all I want. No gold. No, nothing special. Just fix my height.
We might be able to manage this for you. It will take some time to prepare the rituals. It won't be pleasant. It will hurt. But we could...
Pain is
But
compared to the pain.
I will... What'd you say?
Compared to the pain on the inside.
Oh, no.
There's the sadness we all expected.
Dude, it's on the character sheet. I'm just finally bringing it out.
Let me tell you what I need to do this for you. It is a staff that is currently out of my possession. It was buried with our late king. And if you retrieve this for me, I will do as you ask. And you will
What's it called?
You will be a big boy.
A really big boy? Like the big boys?
Biggest.
Point Bob in the direction. I got it. I don't need no help either. I got this.
Tell us a little bit about this staff.
You see, the staff of Renmir has unfortunately been cursed. It was used in a ritual, and it has now somehow been placed in the catacombs of our ancient royal line. And I am sorry to say, I cannot venture there myself. You see, it was long ago, and it was of my own doing that I had managed to destroy the family that ruled this land. And now I am locked in this tower, protecting the magic that caused this, and I cannot leave, or it will do the same to the rest of the people that inhabit this area. So I must ask you to go and grab this spear, because it will dissipate all magic, all arcane, anything that has the power from beyond, if it is touched by it.
But you said it was cursed.
Yes. The curse is what is igniting and animating these dead members of the royal line to come and attack the villages of this land. That is what you saw.
Balandra, is that the giant skeleton you were fighting before? Was it one of the royal line?
He was a friend and great ally of King Tandir. Sadly, he'd passed in battle long ago, and even sadder, I had to destroy what is left of him today.
Bob doesn't believe in curses.
We're heroes.
I like your spirit, feathery one.
Thank you. We're heroes. We will be heroes, and one day I will be as fancy as you.
Thank you.
He just like coughs a little, like feather. Yeah.
First tip. Don't do that.
He like takes notes first. He's like, oh. So smart. So smart.
But if you would do this for me, you will be greatly rewarded.
Can I have a new robe? A fancy robe. A nice, pretty robe that would match my feathers.
I believe we could do that. Would you like it to look like?
Oh, red with little feathers embroidered on it, and maybe some shiny, like a nice collar to accentuate my lovely chest feathers.
So you would like a red feathered robe to go with your red feathers?
No, like a silk robe. It doesn't need to be feathers. I'm just like a nice, and maybe it could also give me a bonus to not being hit by things. He winks.
And she kind of like right back at you.
He's like, good. We have a rapport.
I will have Adjunct work on this properly. And
thank you.
Quickly. Once you return, it shall be yours. Blitz, is this okay with you?
Sounds good to me.
Is there anything I can do for you to aid you for aiding me?
Any kind of money would be money or gems or jewels or really anything that could help us along a way.
Sure, I can do that. Let's say, how about and you see her open her robe a little and pulls out a little leather pouch. She kind of bounces it in her hand a couple times and tosses it over to you. How's this for a start? Good. There'll be plenty more once you return.
And he looks through it real quick. Is there anything? What does he see inside the?
You see about 50 pieces of gold.
It's not too bad of a start. I've seen gold before, but this will do for now.
There'll be much more upon your return. I can guarantee that. Brother Cornelius, what does your heart desire?
A donation to the church is all I require.
What kind of donation?
Treasure. Oh, very simple. Treasure. Bountiful treasure.
I see that you and Blitz are on the same wavelength. And I shall provide this to you upon your return. Now, I would ask you to, or allow you to stay here for the evening. Heal your wounds. Adjunct will take care of you. Is there anything else we can do before you set off?
You got any weapons? Anything that might help us? We And to face some skeletons out there that weren't exactly the easiest. Maybe some protection, something fancy. You got yourself some nice fancy outfits here.
There's a lot of fancy.
Some ale.
Ah, yes.
For
Adjunct will take
medicinal
care.
purposes.
Adjunct will take care of you, and he will give you all that you need. Unfortunately, we do not keep weapons in this tower, but we will see.
That seems a little short-sighted, but all right.
And as you say that, you see her. All the lights in the room go off. All the flames dissipate, but then she ignites them all back on. Typically, we are forbidden from using normal weapons of that nature in this tower.
Cool. We're gonna be outside the tower though, so wish us luck.
Well, I'm only explaining to you why we don't have them here. Is that okay, Blitz?
I'll make do, I guess. As long as you keep throwing these pouches my way.
And then she takes her fingers and flings you one more coin. And you see it travel towards you, rotating, flipping. And it slides right into the top of the pouch.
I'm assuming there's one more gold piece. All right.
As I said, there'll be plenty more where that came from. And I thank you. I thank you so much for your help. I don't know why I just got a southern accent, but it happened. And maybe we're gonna roll with it. Maybe
just make me a giant and we're all good. Point me pig in the right direction. Let's go.
And Adjunct says, please, come with me. Come with me. We will get you bedding for the evening, food. And I shall tell you that all you have to do to get to these catacombs is follow the long road up to the Wormwort, or the Wartwood marshes. From there you will find, unfortunately, what remains of Tandir's castle. But it has slowly sunk into the marsh. But you will be guided by torches that light your way.
We can find it. We're heroes.
Are you?
Yes. I'm a hero. I'm going to assume these guys are heroes.
Well, we shall see.
No. I
I
am
like
a
to
hero.
hit stuff.
Are you? I don't know.
I am.
Don't heroes normally make contact with their spells?
I'm just going to ignore that.
Damn!
I'm just going to ignore that.
Very tense.
Or you know what? I'll just look at him and be like, quiet, shorty.
I'm not short. And then Frank proceeds to cry.
He just goes in a corner. So Adjunct leads you to another room, and it's almost like a suite. You have a main chamber where you already see that there is food and drink laid out for you along a large wooden table. But off of this chamber are 4 rooms, and you can see beds in each of these rooms. I will leave you here for the evening. I would ask you not to venture out into the tower itself, and we will send you on your way in the morning. All right? Is that all right?
That sounds fine.
Sounds good to me.
We shall see if you are heroes.
Yeah.
Stop it. We are.
Sure. And he closes the door and walks out.
So mean.
So now before you just have this luscious spread of food. Is there anything you want to do? At this point before you pass out for the evening?
I think Blitz is gonna start eating a little bit and look over at Cornelius and Frank and Bob and be like, "Who are you guys?"
This is Bob, and I'm Frank. They say it, but like they're covered in food. So like it's like, oh, this is Bob or this is Frank. I'm a giant.
You a giant gnome? Where are you from?
I don't like to speak about where I came from, only who I am.
You're from the hills? Yeah.
I don't like questions from gnomes. I'll work with you to get my height. That's
All
it.
right. And how about you? Thanks for healing me earlier. That helped out a lot.
Of course, I've added it to your tab. I am Brother Cornelius of Timora. Is here looking for artifacts to donate to her great church. And lo and behold, instead of artifacts, I have found you four.
Through like a mouthful of food, Fancy Boy will like look over and be like, "Oh, Tamara, the lady's luck."
Luck has not shined upon me today.
You have new friends, and we're heroes.
Well, I'm Blitz, and I owe you one, brother.
Indeed.
Are you tapping on like the table for coin?
Indeed.
And he's Blitz is just gnawing on like a turkey leg or something, and pulls out that extra 51st coin and flicks it over to Cornelius. Driven by gold. I'm okay with that.
Donations.
I know where your head's at, brother.
Donations to the goddess.
Sure.
Gold
Goddess.
can't win a fight. He says for some reason.
Gold buys a lot of potions, a lot of health, a lot of weapons. So,
But not
all
height.
you need is my flail.
Damn.
And gold
I'll show
buys you
you
great
gold.
towers,
And robes.
where you could be a hero.
Oh God, can that bird not come? Can we put a muzzle on that thing? Was that bird castrated at birth? Oh.
I'm just gonna stare at him with angry eyes, and be like, "Ah."
Bob, are you still hungry? I see a meal over there. Frank charges across the table. No, he goes to bed.
Goes to bed. He's on the
Charges to the
charge. He just
bedroom.
falls asleep. He's like, "Bleh."
Just falls asleep halfway across the table. He sleeps there tonight.
Are the doors locked to the room?
To the outside? You mean to the main room or to the bedrooms?
To the outside this main room?
Yeah, you if you went over and touched it, you can feel that there's you don't even see a handle. That it's just almost an indented stone door.
In that case, Brother Cornelius is going to call it a night.
And you move into one of these four rooms and slowly pass out.
Blitz is gonna walk over to Fancy Boy with 2 mugs of ale, set one down, and be like, "Well, looks like we got ourselves one hell of an adventure coming up."
To heroes. Like,
Sure, to heroes.
he'll just start chugging, and he's like, "I've never had alcohol before." My parents never said I could have it.
Fancy Boy, roll me a. I'm gonna say a dex or no, a wisdom.
Oh no, I'd be Dex.
Yeah, it'll be dex.
Or be
Or no,
Acrobatics.
Constitution.
Constitution.
Yeah, Constitution. Sorry.
Okay, that's 12.
So you raise up the mug of ale that Blitz gave you, and it goes down your gullet, and you start to feel this tingling, that hot sensation that you have never felt before, and
I feel like I could take on a dragon. But then he just like slams his face on the table and is just asleep on the table.
Blitz is just sitting there,
It was only half the mug too.
and just finishes it, sets down the rest, and just walks to his bed, and it's like, Jesus Christ. Goes. makes himself a bed and lays down, try to wake up from this dream.
Mm-hmm. And and night slowly fades, and the morning comes, though you don't really know that it's morning. You just rise out of your slumber feeling extremely refreshed, so much that all of you are bustling as you wake up. You feel no pain. Nothing from yesterday's battle hurts you, or it seems to be assailing you at all, or ailing you at all.
Okay.
And we're level 10.
Yeah. Dun dun dun. So
That's
Stone,
the giant in me.
yeah. So
All healed up.
Frank and Brother Cornelius, when you take a long rest, which is 8 hours, you're gonna you get to heal back up to all your health, all your hit points go back, and your spells come back to you. Your spell slots come back to you as well.
You're welcome.
And you just hear, in the distance, you hear, hello, are you awake? Is this a good time? Can I come in?
Fancy Boy
Frank's
wakes
ears
up.
take a 10-point damage.
Oh no. I feel like Fancy Boy fell asleep in like a pie or something. It says like pie covering his face, and he's like, ah!
That's Frank and Bob wake up inside the same pie, just staring at each other like, what?
So Fancy.
So you hear the door, you hear the stone slab start to move, and you see Adjunct come in. He says, well, it seems you guys had an interesting evening. You have a little pie in your eye there, Frank.
Not enough pie. Goes back for more.
Fancy Boy, there's
He's already trying to clean it off himself, like like frantically, like, oh, they can't see me. I'm such a disaster.
yes.
But then Bob licks it off Fancy Boy's face.
Get away!
It's a way of like bonding.
So, are you ready to begin?
No better time than now.
Sure.
We're ready. He'll like stick his staff on the ground heroically.
Yeah, does that like move?
Yeah, but she's obviously practiced.
Well, as you know, it is as you don't know, the marshes, the swamp, is a 3-day journey from here. Travel down the long road. There you can rest, most likely on the second day at the Rusty Rabbit. Just tell them there. The inntaker, his name is Bolg. He will help you and aid you as best as he can.
Bulge?
Bolg.
I wouldn't call him Bulge. I feel like that might get us in trouble.
I'm going to call him Bulge.
The bird might be right.
So we're off to see Bulge.
No!
Good old Bulge. You excited to meet Bulge, Bob? I'm speaking for a pig now.
Bob, are you suffering? 2 oinks for yes, 1 oink for no.
But please, I will escort you out of the tower. Follow me. And Adjunct walks out of the room. Is everybody ready to go?
We're ready.
Is that lump still in his chest or whatever?
Mm-hmm. You still see a little mound that's kind of just sticking out of his garments.
All right.
And he leads you out of the room and back down into the long hallway with the sconces on each side that you came in from, and that Frank had remembered some of his memories in. And you see him lead you to the door, and you see the sheen rise up, and the daylight assails you from the outside. Please take your first steps. And
Does it seem like this? Oh, sorry.
And may victory and success be your guide.
So now you believe in us, heroes! And just like run outside, like flailing.
We shall see. I'll make.
I don't hear this. I don't hear this. I'm outside.
We're getting away from that guy. We've already won.
At this point, Blitz goes up to the adjunct.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, thank you so much, and goes to try to grab whatever that is in his robe.
Okay. Roll me.
Oh
By
shit.
hand.
Yeah. Sleight of hand.
All right. That is a 15 plus 4, so 19.
Ooh.
Damn. Okay. So, as you walk by him, how do you manage to take this out of his robe?
Well, it's kind of one of those like bro hug situations where like he goes like shake his hand and then pulls him in to like, you know, give him the pat on the back and then like unlocks his hand and grabs it. And
so as you're hugging him with just pure compassion, you slowly dip your hand into his robe, and you feel what seems to be a corner of a book. And you slide it out slowly, and he's just enthralled that you are being so kind to him that he doesn't notice it, and you put it in your pocket. You tuck it into your pocket as well, and he has no clue.
cool. And
Good.
I'm gonna thanks adjunct and walk away. Make sure I get out of eye distance.
Blitz, I look forward to seeing you on your return.
I look forward to all your gems and jewelries.
Fine, that will be so. Fine. And then as you all step out, the sheen drops again, and you no longer see a doorway into the tower, but you see the road, the long road, about 50 feet in the distance, traveling north.
All right. After you, fancy boy.
Oh, okay. So Fancy will just stomp down the road, like just one big foot into time, like doot, venture, doot.
I love that Fancy Boy can fly, but still just is walking.
Oh,
with
yeah.
his
Well,
friends,
he
right?
was taught to give the presence of a hero and to grovel in front of those more powerful. So
I can't wait to
and
crush
nobles.
all of you when I'm giant. Just eat every single one of you.
Okay, just keeps walking down the street. You live your bliss. Doot.
A self-hating gnome. Never thought I'd see the day.
Right. So as you make your way, this is morning time. So you make your way down or up north through this long road. What's interesting is it weaves in and out of the forest. This isn't just a straight road that goes north. It becomes entangled in areas and trees and shrubbery that surround it. You can hear all the wildlife in the forest that surround you as well. And it's about midday, and you come to almost a glen. It is a circled. The road is encircled by trees, and Blitz, make me a dex save.
Dex save.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's a 23.
So, Fancy Boy, as you are proudly walking down this road, you feel over the side of your shoulder almost a gust of wind blow by you, and you feel it come near you as Blitz reaches around in front of you and snatches an arrow out of the air that was about to pierce your shoulder.
Oh, my stars! And he just falls over. Just startles him so bad, his feathers get all poofy, and he's like, whoa!
And at that point, as you are startled, Fancy Boy, you fall over in amazement.
Feathers everywhere.
A man jumps down out of a tree and lands in front of you, Blitz. And he says, I know who you are. And let me tell you, you will go no further down this road.
Is this Bulge?
No. This,
Bulge.
This man is dressed in a leather armor that you see, and his sleeves are green. And he has a bulge, but he has leather pointed boots and a pointy hat. He says, "Yes, you will move no further."
Fancy Boy will stand back up and be like, "Oh, hello, sir. What's your name?"
My name? You don't know who I am?
We're new.
Hey, everybody knows who I am. You don't know who I am? Everybody knows who I am.
No.
Oh, well, I'm Mal P. Oop, Mal. The name's Mal, and here are my men.
Where?
Here are my men. And Mal just kind of taps. Men! And you see 4 more bandit-looking foes jump down. This is Roger, Kaja, Podger, and Dodger.
Oh, so fancy. These are your men.
Yes, and you will move no further down this road.
Why are you mugging us?
No, but I've been paid to make sure you don't get any further.
Well, we're heroes. Who are you paid by? That would be a non-hero. Therefore, we will have to stop you.
Quite frankly, I don't know. We were given a note. We were given your descriptions, and we were just at the Rusty Rabbit.
Well, that's where we're headed. We're just regular old adventurers.
It was Bulge.
But
Bulge paid.
But me and my men were paid to stop you.
How much were you paid to stop us?
Yes, I'm curious. How much?
Wait. You don't ask the questions. I ask the questions.
Were they individual contracts or were they a group sum?
Hey, wait. I said what? What? No. I said I asked the questions. What are you doing?
Who's worth more?
What? Okay, listen.
How much was a pig worth?
What?
Pig wasn't worth. The pig wasn't even part of the contract, but.
Bob.
So, we got 30 gold. Just to worth you. 30 gold, that's all you're worth. Me and my men, we'd be worth much more.
30 gold but between us, like for all of us, you guys are all splitting 30 gold or 30 gold each?
30 gold total?
Oh, you got scammed.
How much are you guys worth?
Oh, I think we're worth tons.
I think my feathers are worth more than that. You guys got real wrecked.
You sure it's even real gold? Where's this gold you got? Let me see this bag.
Why don't I show you my gold? You show me your gold, I'll show you mine.
Whoa, this is getting raunchy. All right, we're gonna take a step back here.
I'm just saying. I heard there was someone over at the Rusty Rabbit giving out fake contracts and having some false currency. So you may have gotten taken advantage of, boss.
Are you trying to? Okay, so roll me some deception.
All right.
So for Stone and Landon, what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna basically have a roll off. He's gonna roll deception against me, and I'm gonna roll against him. So whoever
through a 10, so you got a 50-50 split.
Yeah, you you say what did you say? There's a fake man there. They're selling fake contracts.
I just heard there's someone up there at the Rusty Rabbit who's giving some fake contracts, some fake monies.
Listen,
so
if you're calling me stupid, we're gonna have problems, bud. I mean, we already got problems, but they're just gonna be amplified. That's all I'm saying.
No, he's stupid, and he points over at Frank.
Well, yeah, I mean, he just looks dumb.
You just may have gotten taken advantage of. Is all I'm saying.
Are you blaming this on Roger, Codger, Dodger, or Podger? Because I'm not gonna blame it on my guys.
I got no beef with them. I'm just saying 30 gold is a small amount for taking in four guys here. So
heroes, 4 heroes, right, Fancy Boy?
That's right.
So the one time there wasn't the.
He was just like just looking around like trying to think should I attack this person or not?
Yeah, Frank and Bob have no idea what's going on. They're just staring off into the distance like, what?
See, that's stupid. You just got taken advantage of. That's okay though. It happens.
Should I charge yet or what?
So as you say that, Blitz, and as Frank, as you say, should I charge? You notice on the path now is rolling a cart, driven by horses, and Mal is almost toe to toe and face to face with you, Blitz, as you're having this back and forth, and you hear this cart start to move along the path and come into view from the same direction you came, and it's guarded by 8 knights in armor, or you just guards that have some plate armor surrounding them, and they're just marching through, and they look over, they say, "Hello there, hello, you. What is the fastest way to the Rusty Rabbit?" And Blitz, you just see Mal look over, almost kind of with a smirk in the side of his mouth and a glint of light in his eyes. And he says, you want to, how about we both work together on this one and see what's in that crate, that cart.
Are you saying, no, we're heroes?
Split it 50-50.
I'm not opposed to making some extra coin on the side.
No, Fancy Boy could hear this, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Fancy Boy's like, no, we're heroes. Guards. Guards.
At this point, Brother Cornelius fades into the shadows.
Man,
You observe.
Brother Cornelius ran away. This is like Monty Python. Like
in all the ruckus, can Blitz make an attempt to grab the 30 gold out of Mal's bag, or out of his chest?
Absolutely.
Right.
Roll me a
Well,
Yeah, pretty much as soon as Fancy Boy started losing his mind. He does the thing where he kind of bumps into him just enough to kind of distract him with motion, and goes to see if he can find the bag of gold.
Yep. Roll me some sleight of hand.
Sleight of hands +4. I'm gonna do my orange die because that one was lucky before.
Nice.
That's a 19 + 4, 23.
Damn, son. So Mal is just so entranced and with the chests that he sees in the back of this cart, and you have seen them too, and you notice that they are chests made of pure silver with gold lining up the corners and edges. But he is his gaze is so focused on it that you managed to reach in and grab his one sole little leather pouch that was containing the gold that he had spoke of. So, and Mal's still looking over it, doesn't even notice you have done this. Says 50-50, right?
Well, I mean, are we reacting to Fancy Boy freaking out at this point?
Fancy Boy's run over to the guards and is like, guards, that brigand tried to bug us.
And the guards are... You see the guards take their pikes, and they all turn towards the entire group, both Mal and his funny men and all of you, except for Brother Cornelius.
No, they're fine. Just that guy.
Gnome, Mr. Gnome, I'm not smart, but I know 4 little pussy-looking dudes are a lot easier to take on than 8 knights.
Yeah, I point the knight towards Mal. I'm like, that's their leader, that man there with the fancy shoes and hat and stuff.
All right, so Blitz, like, listen, I just met these people here. They might be a little too much to work with. This could get messy real quick. How about I just give you 30 gold and you go along your way and tell the people that hired you took care of us, and what they look like too.
And as you see Mal's eyes go back and forth and back and forth, and you see him smile at you, and we'll find out the next time we play.
Guards!
Guards!
Heroes! Man, I had a spell ready. I was ready.
Well, you'll have another chance to let that loose, my friend. So what do you guys think? How was your first game of D&D?
It was fun. I was confused most of the time. It was fun.
Yeah.
You did a great job.
Yeah, you did a really great job.
All of you did. It was awesome.
It's all about sticking to a character. Like, make a character and stick to whatever that character, how they would react. And you seem to be doing that very well.
Totally.
Well, I came up with the character, then I was like mostly winging it. Like I had like some broad strokes, but yeah, it's fun.
You did great. And Stone, your Timora stuff was awesome when
Yeah.
you're just like, how much money? What contracts? Like,
It's cool because I've always dug the Forgotten Realms, and so to be able to kind of go into it and kind of, you know, revisit that world, and then at the same time figure out all the things like, oh, which die do I roll? And I look, and you know, like you guys all know exactly instinctually what you're supposed to do, and it's like I can't wait to get to that point where it's like, oh yeah, you know, it's like it's D20 plus.
Yes.
Well, I use D&D Beyond, and that literally has everything lined up. I mean, you just put it all in. And it says like, okay, so I can see like my athletics is +3, so I roll a D20 +3,
yeah.
and then intimidation +2, and you know, like it has it all laid out for you really simply.
What's it called again?
It's D&D Beyond. It's it's like the official D&D website.
It's awesome though. They came out with that like earlier this year, and it's super great. Like the character creator is really good. Like all of it's super useful. So
okay.
And there's a phone app too, so you can use it on your phone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice. And then you can export like a normal like character sheet as well. So if you wanted to print it and have some like write on, you can, or share it or however you want. But I mean,
that's all I've been doing. It's kind of fun actually, because I can't remember the last time I had a pencil, but it's like, oh, I'm getting a pencil. I'm gonna use this pencil thing and eraser thing, and
but it's so fun for me to see you guys go through this process of learning, and you'll get to that point where you're instinctively, you know what how your character is going to react, and you're going to know what dice you're going to be using. I remember when we first when we first started the amateur hour stream, Jack was the same way, and I see the same thing. You know, it was amazing to see Jack develop this character and his, you know, playing abilities over like a year and a half of play. So to see you kind of go through the same steps is really, really, really neat. So.
Yeah, it's like even thinking about Brother Cornelius, and as we're going through it and I'm playing with all of you, I'm like making notes, because it's like, well, this is what he really thinks about this person, or here's how, you know, here's what's going on in his mind. It's just kind of, it's really cool to see that, you know, evolution and figure out how to express it. Which,
yeah, and you'll get more comfortable with your character over time too. Like your first playthrough is always just trying to kind of figure out who they are, and then eventually they just take over and you do things without even thinking.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and it gets weird because you forget you did them, and your friends are like, "Oh yeah, that happened." You're like, "I don't remember that. That was just the character doing it. I don't know. I don't even remember."
That was the character in the LSD. So I mean,
absolutely.
Thank
well, that was fun, Eric. Thank you very much for that. That was good times.
Yeah. Oh God, it was such a good game, guys. Like, as you guys know, I helped write the C Team Acquisitions Incorporated C Team with Jerry Holkins, but Jerry also was part of writing this story with me. So
nice.
It was really fun. Like we were. It was last week. I was like, okay, this is what I'm thinking, and we sat down and brainstormed, and we're like, oh, this is going to be perfect for this group. And this was even before I knew that Fancy Boy was an Aarakocra, and I'm like, I'm just going to have them falling out of the sky. But then I'm like, oh, Fancy Boy's an Aarakocra, so he's gonna be able to fly. Like
it was still hard though to catch everyone.
Yeah,
so.
it was perfect.
Failing,
yeah.
Also, I have an 8 strength, so I don't think I would have been able to carry everyone anyway.
Fancy Boy is probably the best character ever. It was just so fun.
Oh my God, I feel
energy.
bad. Like, I feel bad when I play characters like that. I'm like, I'm real sorry, you guys. This is what it's going to be, though.
No, I love it. It's all the characters were just so much fun to interact with.
But
like,
oh, go for it.
Oh, go ahead. I was just saying, and Jack, you were so smart and did so many smart things. I was like, this is the smartest D&D playing I've seen in like a very long time. And then I was just like, man, my other groups were just real suboptimal. We just made so many mistakes. I was like, wow, stealing that guy's gold and then giving it back to him.
Yeah, that's clever as shit.
Yeah.
Well, the whole time I'm just thinking like, I want to hit stuff. So
yeah.
But that's in character for Frank, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I look up, I see, five guys about to hit us, and then 8 other dudes about to get. I'm like, nope, not getting in that. Not getting in the middle of that.
And stupid Fancy Boy is like, guards, help us.
That was the best part. I think that was my favorite part. Is that moment right there.
Guards. Just this like stupid voice. That was great. Thank you guys. It was lovely.
Yeah. So what do you guys got coming up? What do you guys planning? Have anything big you're working on or doing that you want to kind of shout out and promote?
I'm good. I'm actually on Thursday. I'm doing the finale of my 8 weeks of playing D&D on the twitch.tv/D&D channel.
Nice.
Myself, Dante Bosco, Mika Burton, and Kraken are all finishing up our first sort of session together. It's lots of fun, and so we're coming to the end of that. And so that'll be on Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/D&D.
Yeah. And you guys are in Cholt too.
Sorry?
Are you guys in Cholt too? In the jungle? Are you doing the Tomb of Annihilation stuff?
We no, we're doing I don't know exactly where we're at. It's not Tomb of Annihilation. It's
so if you're tired of my grouping in the jungle for like 6 weeks, then you should go check out theirs.
Yeah. It's like we're fighting like this. We're heading to a final boss, but it's like a Bathsheba temple.
Oh, and nice.
So, yeah, I don't know exactly what the sort of overarching world is, or if it's specific for us or what, but it's been fun.
Yeah,
sweet.
And Lauren is our DM. She's awesome.
Yeah,
nice.
Great. Landon, what do you got coming up? Anything?
I make YouTube videos every day. That's all I really do.
Do you get paid for them again yet?
Huh?
Are you getting paid for them yet?
Sometimes. but now there's the new development which I always suspected is if a video is flagged, it can't get suggested, and like new people can't find it. So it's like you can't grow either. So it's great. Cool. YouTube's killing it.
It's great.
Go to Twitch.
Nice. Stone, what you got cooking? Some cool Ubisoft stuff?
Ubisoft PR guy, but not going to talk about that here, Far Cry 2018. I mean, yeah.
I want to tell you how much I love Assassin's Creed so far, the new one, Origins. I just love everything about it.
It's such a crazy.
Probably going to play more of it tonight.
I know. I can't. I'm just diving in. It's so good.
Oh, it is massive. It is. They have figured out escapism in the finest form and just taking to Egypt. But yeah. Good job, dev team.
Right. And Holly, what do you got? You got a lot of stuff cooking. What's going on?
Well, if you guys want to watch more D&D, I play every Tuesday on twitch.tv/D&D and Dice Camera Action. We're bad at everything, and pretty soon things are going to get worse. So that's where we play, and it's great, and I love it. I love all of my friends. And I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, and so I started a YouTube show called The Friendly Table. So I've been doing a YouTube show where I'm teaching new players how to play, where to get resources and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of how we tied this together. So I was like, this is perfect. We're playing a new game with new players. That's great. So I'm trying to just offer resources for people on YouTube and not even caring if it gets monetized because, YouTube. So it's just like, I'm just doing it as a passion project.
Yeah.
Who would live their life trying to make money on YouTube?
Right? Nobody.
What an idiot.
Yeah, just like, yeah, that's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, but it's great. I love all of the D&D community, and it's been awesome. So just making all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and it's super cool for the friendly table stuff because it can be intimidating to sit down at your first table not knowing what you're doing. So
absolutely, and worrying someone's gonna be like, oh, this is cringy, and I'm like, literally every day of my life is cringy and I love it. So please stop, check yourself, and just have a good time.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing about it. So that's why I'm trying to get that intimidation factor out so that people don't worry about the rules, they don't worry about this, that they pick a character and they just play that character, and then the rules and all that comes second. Like it's at the end of the day, it's just rolling a d20.
Yeah, exactly. So go D&D.
Yay!
But for me, guys, if you want, check out. We have a Monday night stream called Mayhem and Misfits with my friend Jessica Mirzan, who's also friends with Holly.
That's true. Yes.
And our friend Joe Louis and Scotland Simmons. And 2 new players coming on board this week. And then after that, on Tuesday nights, I don't think we're going to be playing this week. We have Amateur Hour, which is myself, Jack. Who else is in that? Katie. We have Rick Lacey from DreamWorks and Alyssa Grant from Penny Arcade. So check that show out as well. And unfortunately, as many people know, the C team is off right now, but we'll be back later in January. But if you can, check out Acquisitions Intoxicated, which is a show that Jerry Holkins and I make where we sit around and just brew beer.
And it's amazing.
Awesome.
And next week we'll be tapping the beer that we designed around Patrick Rothfuss's character Viari. But the week after that is going to be the Strix Trash Witch beer.
I'm so excited.
So Holly came in to the studio after, I think it was after West, right?
Yes, yeah, it was. It was after West.
Yeah,
it was after.
Right after you were on the stage, right? So,
I know, peeing myself.
Yeah.
It was lovely to be able to drink with friends after being so scared.
Yeah, right. But we made a delicious stout that I can tell you smells absolutely fantastic. But we'll be tapping that in 2 weeks.
Excited.
So if you guys can,
You're gonna send me some.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
If it doesn't get drained, no, we're gonna send it.
Just send a note that just says sorry.
Sorry, it was delicious.
Yeah. Just a picture.
Yeah. But if you can tune into that, it's Tuesdays at noon Pacific on the Penny Arcade Twitch channel. But other than that, guys, this was an amazing session of D&D, and thank you so much for playing. And we will have to continue our story right where we left off very shortly.
Yes.
This time I won't be squished.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll get to be your true height.
Awesome. And we'll see you later, guys. Thanks for everybody for watching. See you soon.
Bye, Internet.